Deep inside the human body lies an intricate ecosystem that dictates our overall health. Think of the intestines as a lush biodiversity reserve. This reserve runs on the labor of trillions of specialized microbes. Strains like Bifidobacterium and Faecobacterium act as the worker bees of this environment. Every day, they metabolize incoming nutrients and secrete protective compounds to maintain the thick mucosal barriers lining the intestinal walls. Without this constant labor, the reserve faces a systemic breakdown. When these workers are sidelined, the primary boundaries protecting our internal systems begin to fail. But a daily diet heavy in saturated fats and ultra-processed foods acts exactly like an invasive gray monoculture. Because this Western diet lacks complex plant fibers, it starves those beneficial worker microbes of their primary food source. In their absence, opportunistic pro-inflammatory weeds like Belophila wadsworthia quickly take root and spread. Notice beneficial bacteria plummeting while pathogenic strains rise. When these lines cross, the gut enters ecological collapse, dysbiosis. As this sets in, intestinal walls degrade. This cascading bar graph shows how structural breakdown allows toxins to leak into the bloodstream, causing systemic inflammation to surge. Consuming a heavy Western diet dismantles your natural internal defenses, driving up the risk of severe outcomes ranging from colorectal cancer to rapid cognitive decline. Rescuing this environment requires planting a specific variety of wildflowers, the bioactive compounds found in polyphenol-rich foods. Human enzymes cannot break down most complex polyphenols. Instead of being absorbed in the stomach, they travel entirely intact down into the colon. Once they arrive, they serve as a high-octane exclusive fuel source that only the starving beneficial microbes can digest and utilize. The rescue mission starts with the warm dietary spectrum, foods rich in reds, oranges, and yellows like bell peppers and citrus fruits. These foods are packed with flavonoids. They act as localized antioxidants, actively neutralizing the reactive oxygen molecules that tear holes in the gut lining. Eating from the warm spectrum throws up a direct chemical shield over the intestinal walls, stabilizing the boundaries so the rebuilding process can begin. Next, the green spectrum, like kale and broccoli sprouts, brings in structural prebiotic materials and helps lower fasting blood glucose levels. The dark purple and black spectrum, including blackberries and black rice, carries a very different chemical load, high concentrations of anthocyanins. Clinical trials demonstrate that anthocyanins directly suppress the proliferation of colon cancer cells, while simultaneously triggering a massive population boom in Bifidobacterium. This schematic illustrates the core metabolic exchange. Complex polyphenols enter a bacterial cell. The microbe metabolizes them, releasing simpler short-chain fatty acids. These are the physical currency of gut repair, flowing directly into the intestinal walls, locking together to patch broken cellular barriers. The colors on your plate act as targeted biological instructions. They equip your microbes to extinguish intestinal inflammation by shutting down the production of aggressive signaling proteins like interleukin-6. By providing the right fuel, the gut ecosystem begins to restabilize. Beneficial flora recolonize the landscape, outcompeting pathogens and restoring the microbial balance. The health of this restored reserve refuses to stay contained. The anti-inflammatory effects radiate directly outward into the cardiovascular system. Studies show that as the gut heals, blood vessels regain their elasticity, measurably improving flow-mediated dilation and overall vascular health. Lowering that systemic inflammation also shields the brain, actively protecting neural pathways and memory retention. In a recent clinical trial, older adults who consumed anthocyanin-rich black rice daily saw significant, measurable improvements in both verbal and working memory in just 8 days. These results suggest that our mental clarity is deeply linked to our intestinal health. Protecting the brain often begins with supporting the gut. A Technicolor harvest serves two distinct purposes. It mounts an active rescue mission in a damaged gut, and it provides daily defense in a healthy one. The human body is not a static machine with interchangeable parts. It is a vast, living wilderness that requires active, daily stewardship. We are the wardens of our own internal biodiversity reserve. Cultivating the colorful dietary spectrum is how we maintain the resilience of our internal wilderness and protect the long-term health of the entire organism.